Is it live? Oh, it's live. It's live. It's live. It's live. True Epignosis, what's up? I think I went live just as you said hello. Hello, right back at you. I have a little energy drink. Um, for a little boost in the middle of the day. Let me see here. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I got a little plan for a live stream. One is that the Earthbound Kickstarter has 20, 28 or 29 hours left. Let me see. I can just share real fast. We'll look at it. Here's one thing we're going to do. This is Sam Keith stuff. I want to do some Sam Keith studies. So do a few Sam Keith studies. I want to study where he does highlights. Because sometimes it's like, it looks so 3D and looks so cool. I'm like, yeah, it's even a little bit more the rules of good design more than the rules of like physics and lighting. He knows them both, but yeah, I think. Romy, what's up? True Epignosis says R.I.P. Sam Keith. Yeah, that felt like the biggest I've ever seen on my like, a lot of comic people have died in the last like 5 years or 3 years. Like Tim Sale, and whatever. Ed Piskers was crazy. But this one was huge. So many people talking about it. Um yeah. The one I'm like nervous about is Frank Miller. You just never know. He feels like your boy Zach's talked about this, but it feels like he's in really bad health. But he's still working and stuff. But that will be the craziest. Um, I hope he stays healthy. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Gonna do that, and then we're gonna do a little brainstorming writing thing. I want to talk out loud. Sometimes when I live stream, I'm talking out loud. That'll help me. I have like the ultimate writing challenge slash problem. I might have mentioned it before. I've been thinking about it for like a year that I want to do it, but I can't think of how to do it. And I'll explain to you guys what that is. But let me see. So here's this. We're not focused on the Indiegogo just yet. The Indiegogo's at 500, goals 1,000. So it's striking distance. There's still like 10 days left on that. Once both these end, then I'm going to do a quick little eBay for some special goods. One of those will be 5 uh remarked signed by Mark Miller and me trades of Vatican City. I have 15 of those. So I'm going to put up 5 on eBay with minimum bid of 100, I think, and we'll just see how that goes. And then that will kind of put maybe a little bit of like value on what those go for. Then I might just sell another 5 just at whatever rate, if it's just 100, or if it's a little bit higher. Um, and then I'll probably keep 5 for whatever. Just keep 5. So there's only 15 like in the history of the world, unless someone tracks me and Mark down at various conventions or something. Plus the remarks, there's even those make it 15. So that'll be like a cool little like uh, eBay auction kind of thing. Probably do a live stream for that. A little bit of a big event for me to, just because it's an auction. I'll only do a couple a year. Might have some original art too, just some random original art, and those 5 copies. And then kind of begins more or less fulfillment on this campaign in early May. Uh, and yeah, and then just on to other stuff to staying working, keeping things moving. Um, True Epignosis says, I love the Max. I need to read his other stuff now. Yeah, I actually got to read the Max. I've never read it. I'm bummed because it's at one point I had like the Max 1 through 5 on floppies, and somehow I lost them. And I'm bummed. But that was like I lost them like 5 years ago, and I had them like 10 years ago. So it was just when I got them, they're like $1 each, just in bins or whatever. And I just grabbed it because I liked the art. I didn't even know who Sam Keith was. Okay, so this checking in 147 backers. Next backer brings it $8, brings it to 9,000. I don't know if anyone feels like just upping their pledge by $8. But then it goes to 9,000 next after one more backer. If anyone hasn't backed yet, you're seeing this, go ahead and go for that. We'll see it live on the stream. We'll pass 9,000. But yeah, that's kind of just a background thing. The main thing I want to look at is kind of some studies. We'll do a few studies and then jump straight into the writing thing. So I'm going to do the studies take kind of fast because I just want to look at his highlights. Is like the main thing I want to take away, and the way he's doing the darks too. So there's a few things I've noticed. The highlights will hit. The highlights push close to the blacks a lot of times. So like yeah, okay, okay, okay. So if we try on this, if we say this is a say this is a bicep, it already doesn't look like he does indicate whatever like that. Go. Oops. Like so if we're indicating this is still not really Sam Key style, but he somehow gets it just right, the gradient where it feels really 3D and cool. I mean that sort of works, but and we can look. What if we try and do veins? Bicep, shoulder. So he'll do like, if it's like that, even like that, he has one sharp side, one faded side. So, I mean, like that, but see if I cut it back. He would only cut back like that for textures when it really, but if we're just almost just trying to get like if you blur your eyes, we want to get the values right. And we can figure out the cross hatching later because that's a thing. See, I'm already like, if you kind of cheat, if you get the lighting wrong, then all of a sudden it doesn't look right. Like the lighting here is like straight over. So this would actually be pretty much white. And get some texture lines. You're allowed to cheat texture lines. So if you do that, like this looks so much not as good as Sam Keith, but this could be like a warm up. What if we do? What if we start again? We're just trying to get this zone in here looks kind of interesting, but okay. Let me see here. Put the bicep. Actually, do it like yeah. Get everything in there. Okay, we have an arm. And then we're see cutting back. Cutting back helps a lot, but it's like cheating. But I mean, you can do it with whiteout. But So yeah, that looks cooler. Getting like the bounce light in there. And he would do that. That hand looks terrible, but Jolly, what's up? All right. What I kind of wanted to really test was the coloring, though. Okay, so if it feels sort of 3D, yeah, it's like getting that. We're kind of going more straight on with the lighting. What if we do? Okay, whatever. Try. All right. Now we'll try adding some of it. It's like airbrush and cutting kind of stuff. Like, and I don't know if there's a fast way to do it, but I've seen people do it like so. So here, like right in the middle. And like that looks maybe okay. It's hard to do. It's like, but then this was the one where, yeah, it goes like right up to the edge like that. And that looks like kind of cool. Then maybe he does bounce light. Okay, get our highlights again. Again, this goes right up to the edge like that. Kind of in the middle on that one. And some of this is like the physics of it is like, how do we do this? If like this is your form, or like even, I don't know, if it's like a muscle, it's like that. If you zoom in on this, it looks like that. And yeah, so if you say you're lighting, your highlights are hitting wherever the arrows hit, and it actually hits here too. So you'll get like a highlight, like on stairs, you'll get like a highlight here, 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 here. And this is funny. What's about this is like, it's if the lighting is here to here, anywhere, so anywhere, no matter what, this is where your highlights are going to be, because this is where your whole area is covered. Like it's that surface is pointing at, it's like it's pointing at all of this. So if the lighting is here, no matter what, it's going to catch. Versus if it's a plane, it's only going to catch and hit the camera at one spot, really. And that's like where, like, if you're holding a mirror, you can flash the mirror. If the sun appears in the reflection of the mirror, then it becomes white and will blind you. Or even like if you do that to like a plate or a board or whatever. Um, so like usually a plane will not be highlighted, except. And then there's another, I guess, thing with the planes that, because I mean, there's a lot I could learn about this stuff. Saying it out loud kind of helps me, but so you have a plane like this. Here's like the sun. It will go like that. Like you'll get a highlight like that kind of. And don't ask me exactly why it's like that. But if you do the plane just right where it reflects back into your eye, then the whole thing becomes blindingly white. Um, okay, we're back to painting this. Okay. So we're hitting in the middle. And then we're hitting on the edges of. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Definitely the inking can do a lot of work for you. And then it lets you you can get that 3D effect. There's ways to do this with the airbrush too. Dale posting the link. Thanks, man. Lighting is hard. Those really like flat coloring. Yeah, flat always looks good, and light and rendered like only looks good if you get it right. Like this doesn't even look super great yet. Um, and yeah, it's like the highlights alone, like just flat highlights on flats can look good if you get the highlights just right. And that was something looking at Sam Keith's, like where he's using highlights here. Like down here. So I don't know. What if we tried to do highlights? Even more highlights. Textured. Kind of hitting down there. He starts to look sweaty. I don't know. I feel like if I need a full drawing to learn more, learning just from drawing an arm isn't helping. But nevertheless, maybe we'll move on here. So there's something else though, and it's the writing brainstorm thing. So sometimes it helps me to if I brainstorm out loud. And I want to get this one project going, but I haven't been able to crack the idea. So it's starting with the concept first of like the format, I guess. And I might have talked about it before. So what the idea is that it would be 8 mini comics that you can read in any order. And the order is not told. So you get like a packet of 8 mini comics. That's the story. And you can like you know, it even might have a how to like a what do you call it? A instruction booklet or whatever that will say like shuffle the mini comics, pull the one from the top and read that one first and just read all 8 and then you get the story. And so in some regards like any 8 mini comics equals about a one shot like 20. I think it's almost like 24 pages depending on how you like translate it. It's between 20 and 30 though, 20 and 28. So like yeah, 24. So it's about a one shot worth of story. But you could pack in like, you know, a lot of story in that 24 pages. The actual 8 mini comics are 8 pages, so 8 by 8 is and that's with, you know, the cover is a page and the back cover is a page. Um 64, but they're so small. They almost equate like to almost like one panel, but maybe 2 panels. So that's what it yeah, what is the math on that? If it's 64 times it's like 128 panels and then 128 divided by 5 is like 25 pages. So 5 panel pages would be 25. Great Goldworm. That idea is Gonzo as ASF, but real creative. Yeah, thanks. No, it's a cool idea. Like that was definitely like I was stoked on because I've been into mini comics for a while now, and I've done like 3, 4, 5 of them. And you know they're a fair amount of work. They're not crazy. You can maybe do one in a weekend, but it's like they're yeah, it's like a bit of an undertaking. And yeah, so 8 of them would still be kind of a big project. But the thing, yeah, as I was thinking it through, I was like, oh, that would be fun. It'd be fun to fulfill. So if it was like, it probably would be crowdfunded. I don't see how this could be mainstream. It could almost be a free comic book day thing if you could really get it like an editor behind that. Or, I mean, mini comics just for a promo for it would be awesome. That reminds me, actually, you know, I'm sorry, real quick tangent. I'm excited about Percival, but talked about it a lot on my channel. Uh, and it's the main daydream with that is that it would be published kind of in the mainstream, either through Image or Dark Horse, probably. But and can cross any of those bridges when I get to them. But one of the things that's come up from it as I've been working on it that's kind of fun, but it's kind of just sitting there. I'm not sure about this idea, but Percival has its own like pantheon. There's kind of this map. It's Devotion is like the main city that's conquering down, and then Tribute is like the lower city that was conquered. And it was conquered actually like 100 years ago, so it's kind of like been conquered, and that's why like it's been 100 years. So there's kind of like some rumblings in Tribute. Tribute has its own king who kind of coexists with the North King, but obviously the North King is more alpha, more dominant, possibly the bad guy, but you're not quite sure. You just hear about Devotion. They're way far in the north, loosely kind of like a Roman thing of conquering down. Kind of they have the empire reaching down, and then yeah, there's like these. What's the word if it's a yeah like a I don't know the word if it's a conquered like a city state or almost like a colonial or but like the way the Roman Empire would do that. And yeah, so devotion, tribute, and then tribute had their own pantheon of gods, and when they got conquered, those gods were reappropriated to devotion. So there's actually like there's kind of two sets of pantheons, and they have loose equivalencies. Again, kind of a little based on like Greek to Roman, how they kind of uh like Jupiter and Zeus are like very similar and blah blah blah. But and then it's not like super complicated though. Like I only did 3 of each. And so like the tribute gods are Iniki, who's the river god, and he's a frog. And then he gets reappropriated to Step, who is the devotion god. And then there's Arin, who's the wind god, who's a chick, and that's tribute, older god. Newer version is flight. And so yeah, Arin, flight, Iniki, step. And anyway, and then there's a few others, but Iniki is like a cool god kind of, and I designed all these statues for him because that's like a kind of part of it. There's like shrines and statues, and it's like a little bit of like this type of lore that you'd find in like Dark Souls or something like and that's kind of part of the inspiration. Uh, and I was like, I kind of want to do a comic based on Iniki on a frog, and I'm like, what's his story? And I've only got a little bit. I'm like, could it be a mini comic? Could it be a series of mini comics? That could be like uh, a a free comic book day thing, or it could be a one shot. I don't want to get like down that rabbit hole of all of a sudden I'm just doing like fake legends and fake lore for my universe for Percival or whatever. Um, and kind of the Percival, the my version, it's like it's like deep into the unwritten histories, like possibly pre-flood even. So it's like not trying to deliberately like uh break out, but because that's like, and then this is something I might like try and explain, but it's like the like if it's an intro or like a world building thing, because there is a cool map of like the area too. Um, but it's that the King Arthur lore. It's like Gaelic going back all the way to unwritten times. At a certain point in like 1500, it kind of, and even later, like 500 to like 1000 AD, right? It gets kind of reappropriated with Christianity uh, involved a lot more. And so there's kind of almost like two versions, but they're kind of similar or whatever. And yeah, I'm going back like it's all pre-Christian, but there is like this Christian presence is taking this Grail story. The idea that the Grail still existed, kind of almost like before Christianity, but still representing some of the Christian stuff. Um, and then yeah, it's just so long ago, and this is like kind of a the guy who wrote Conan. Uh, shoot, what's his name? You guys help me. Robert E. Howard. He did that with Conan, where you just make it long enough ago that you don't have to like be beholden to what we know actually happened kind of stuff. So yeah, within that it's like cuz I I watched a lot of videos on like Mesopotamia, like early Judaism, and there was like a lot of gods in the area, and I'm like I kind of don't want to like just be going down those gods because then it's like stuff everyone's heard a million times. It's like Baal and Beelzebub, and there's stuff with that of where people argue about if it was reappropriated within Christianity to be demons and blah blah blah. And I kind of am not too interested in that. I just want to like yeah like go so far like more like Conan. And Conan, my favorite scene in Conan, I kind of want to rewatch it, but my favorite I've heard people kind of talk about this too that it's pretty like authentic. It feels he kind of makes up gods, but it feels like really legit. And but there's a cool scene where Conan meets another guy and the guy's like, "What gods do you worship?" And Conan's like, "Crom, what do you worship?" And the guy's like, "The four winds." I'm like, that is so authentic to what it would actually be like. And it's like or it feels to me, feels so good. So I'm kind of going a little bit more for that kind of thing. And so yeah, so then within this you got Iniki frog god, and I want, but I like him and Arin would have like, this is like the very very basic like legend, because there would be like potentially a lot of legends. That's why I'm like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. But Iniki would need a favor from Arin, and Arin would say like, like, I'll give you this sword and you can achieve your goal. This is a favor, but you owe me. And Iniki would be like, sure. And then Arin would give him the sword. He'd do what he needs to do, whatever it is. See, I got to figure out a lot of this. And then he actually wouldn't pay Arin back. Arin's debt would maybe screw him over. She'd be asking too much or something. He doesn't pay her back. So then she like does something to get back at him. And that's like the basic story. He gets like kind of screwed. And then that would be one where they're like at odds. Um, and I was wondering, I was like, maybe I was like, is he human and she turns him into a frog? I don't know. I think I kind of want him to just always be a frog, because that's like kind of cooler. Because the other way has been told a million times. But if he's always a frog, I was like, maybe she makes him smaller. His curse is that he becomes actual frog sized, and they could have a frog sized adventure with like mice. I'm like, that's actually super sweet, but I don't know. Um, yeah, sit as their own. Crom laughs at your four wins. Yeah, yeah. His timeline is after the sea drank Atlantis. Yeah, and he has he has some characters a whole timeline during the time of Atlantis too, and I forget that guy's name, but that it's like 2,000 years before Conan or something. Um, and Dale says many ancient pantheons swapped their gods around. Philistines, Assyrians, Babylonians. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I kind of want to do, but I don't want to use their gods. Um, I want to make up my own. But if I make up my own, I want them to be like legit. So there is like a fair amount of work goes into them. But all you can do is when you achieve a little bit of where it feels kind of authentic, is a lot of times it's like more simple. Or it's like you do a lot of thinking about it and maybe some kind of crazy stuff, and then at the end it's like, yeah, it's just a shrine. Like, yeah, someone built a shrine at some point. It's a stone frog, and that's it. But that detail's there, and that like helps and is cool. Um, yeah. So anyway, yeah, the freaking like a map, the gods, like a little. It would actually have a cool world building document if, but that gets into the question like, a lot of people don't care, but and I normally don't, but I like the Percival world, so I'm like, oh, could be a cool little making of, or a little bonus book if there's a campaign. Or but yeah, like free comic book day, that's like a fun thing to like fantasize about, like free comic book day with an Aniki legend with him and Arin. And another cool thing about Percival, that I'm actually still kind of working this out. So I kind of have six gods, and they each have their you know e- e- equivalent within the two countries. And there is like more southern gods, but they aren't really part of the story. It begins as Percival's coming up, and there's a seventh god called Switch. That's like, he's a little mysterious, and he's a shapeshifter god. And the idea being he can kind of go between both pantheons, and he appears in both pantheons with various stories about him or whatever. And I haven't even decided if he's like, you know a bad guy or a good guy. I'm not sure, or what his deal is really. But one of the cool things I think he comes up is he's almost like, it's not about him being a shapeshifter. It's about, if when Arin becomes Flight and when Aniki becomes Step, then that is like what Switch he oversees. He almost oversees reappropriation. So the switching of the gods is like his deal. Um, and so he's like a later god. He's like a quote unquote postmodern god. Uh, which, yeah, from a certain perspective, that's like the Christian god. I know people might hate that if you call him postmodern, but he's almost like that, I think. And then I'm like, well, maybe Switch would be like the god within inside the Grail, which is eventually going to become the Christian god. Uh, which there's a little bit of competition of like who has the most sense of humor and who has the most sense of irony is like almost like, I don't know if this is like basic bitch stuff, but the thing I like about the Christian God is like the idea of that he does have a sense of humor and that he does have a sense of irony. Um, and it's like, yeah, maybe all gods are like that or whatever. Like even whatever, uh, Poseidon, it's like if Ulysses like laughs in his face and says, "Haha, I made it. You tried to stop me and you failed." Poseidon's like, "Bitch, the fact you just said that means I have to stop you now. Like, don't open your damn mouth." Like, yeah, like that's like hilarious. Um, but yeah, so Switch being like uh slightly self-aware, slightly postmodern, um, sense of humor, sense of irony. He has a lot in common with the Grail, and so they kind of like see each other, and then I don't know if they're like buddies. Um, Jim Alaska, what's up? There's a Middle Eastern god who's depicted as a chair. See, that's sweet. I like that. Yeah, and Cole's the one that's like Atlantis. And there right now, I have Atlantis is exists in the Percival universe, and there's one character called the Atlantean, and I might change that. But it's kind of cool. I can't decide because it's like I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about that. It's kind of cool though. And I actually have the idea that that's where the Grail kind of appears initially when Percival on his quest to get it, he kind of steals it from Atlantis. So that's like one of the it happens way before the story begins, but that could get adjusted. That's like the original lore is kind of cool. I just heard people have been talking a lot about this book called Between Two Fires, which is like I kind of thought in my head of it as like the Dark Souls book, which I've been wondering about like if people would do like a Dark Souls style story. And I thought it was that, and I listened to a big like summary of it on YouTube, and the story sounds awesome. It really kind of stuck with me, even just the summary version. Uh, but and it was Dark Soulsy in the sense that people say like comments they're like it's kind of like a video game. It's like packed with episodic boss battles, but it's not like just dungeon crawling. It's like has a story during the plague, during the medieval era, and then like yeah, like fighting monsters and stuff. And it was so cool. I've kind of now I forget where I was going with this. One second. Um, but yeah, what I don't know what else other than it was like kind of inspiring and yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. It's like the what I'm doing with Percival is like not that, so that's almost like another itch that I'd want to scratch is like the horror dungeon crawling medieval kind of thing, monsters. And I might be able to fit some of that into Percival right at the end, maybe. We'll see. Benjamin Soto, what's up, man? Thank you for the congratulations. And I did get the book, by the way. It did get shipped to my parents. And yeah, I really love the art and the coloring are great. And yeah, it's a fun book. I'm in for issue 2 or whatever. Bobby, what's up, man? What's up? 9 people watching. Okay, so I don't know. Well, let's talk about the 8 mini comics that can be read in any order. Um, so the loose idea is it's kind of like all interactivity first is the only way I can think of to do it. Where because any kind of story you could maybe do that, break it up and blah blah blah, read it out of order. Like Pulp Fiction, you could reorder Pulp Fiction to be not out of order, and then it's arguably just as good. And then out of order, yeah, just as good. It's like a lot of stories you could kind of do the Pulp Fiction treatment to them. Maybe if you read like yeah, but ones where if I write I call it betray the betrayer, and that kind of creates this like chain. And maybe if the chain circles back on itself, then it would really be a prime thing for 8 mini comics to be read in any order. And I don't know if that's too like gimmicky or what the story'd be like that, but and it is, if you think about, each book is only 8 tiny little pages, 16 panels. It's like about 3, 4 pages, like one scene almost you can do. So a scene, you kind of will have like a setup if it's exposition, or payoff if it's like, yeah. So this is like, loosely I was thinking, if it's 4 characters, betray the betrayer, um, like A, B, C, D, and yeah, it'd be like setup, payoff, like quote unquote payoff, setup, payoff. That's 8. So that's like a loose idea, and then it's definitely like quickly headache inducing. I haven't been able to crack this. I've tried here and there. I haven't tried a ton, but in like a year. Angela Curry, what's up? Nards. You know, I kind of forgot calling the narwhal Nards. I got to bring it back. Bring back the Nards. Um, so an idea would be like, if it was like a drug deal thing. So like, say there's like A and B, they're gonna sell some drugs, and then like C steals like the suitcase of cash, and then so A and B are looking for C, and then like C would have to make a deal. So say C is gonna sell it to D, and then A or B, yeah, like B steals. You know, that's like an idea. And I'm like, I want it frick. You could just sort of do that, and because part of the fun would definitely be the fact that you're reading a story in any order by mini comics, and 8 mini comics would equal about uh, one floppy. But now one of the issues is, so this is like drug deals. Like this could be like white trash, small town, whatever. That's one idea. This is part of one of the things that's I've ran into that's tough to do. Then I'm like, could it be like in the Earthbound universe? Yeah, but I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. Could it be in the Naked Samurai universe? Yeah, but I don't know. So I kind of want it to be new and just be its own thing, and then get in, get out. But it's hard to make like a new world, and even thinking aesthetically of like the style. But I had written down a few. So like one is like, if it's almost like, seems kind of popular in video games, but like 1930s noir cartoon style, like Cuphead, and there's the mouse PI coming out. So like, yeah, and then that's the story. Another would just be like a western, maybe western anthro, kind of still kind of cartoony. Cartoony could be good because I can draw it sort of fast, maybe when the time comes. Or like sci-fi, earthbound ish, space pirates. That's the one I'm kind of least excited about. This one seems like it could maybe work when the time comes. But yeah, gotta decide on that. So then here's one kind of idea I was thinking, and it immediately, I don't know if this is gonna work. So then even like trying to say it out loud, I might have to switch to like typing. Let me see if I can. Okay. So we have, what just happened? Okay, 8 mini. All right. Uh, so if it's like bounty hunter thing, where uh let's see, character, we call him boss. Boss A hires character C to be a fake. Um, man, typing this all out. Let's see if we can even do this. To be a fake bounty prisoner to get turned in to like base D. Uh, he hires bounty guy B to do the job. And now this is actually a betrayal. We'll put this in parentheses because this is like info that we'll put later. A betrayal of bounty B. So he's kind of he's deliberately sending bounty B into a trap. Like sending in, even if all this doesn't work, but like sending a character into a trap, that's almost like what it should be to start. It's so broad, and thinking about what that would be is tough. Yeah. So then we kind of have that set up as like base B makes a deal with boss A. Can you deliver us bounty guy B? Give him up. He's your boy, but if you give him to us, we'll strike your debt to zero or something like that. And so he's like, yes, here's the deal. Um, you go, and I think he sends one guy under who just maybe be the main character is like this fake prisoner, a fake reason to get to base D. And then you get to like why does base D want bounty B? Um and so bounty B, I have answers to a lot of this stuff, but it's like this is ridiculous. But this is what it would be like reading. So this would not be like it's all just interactivity. It's not necessarily like big emotion, big character piece. This is all just betrayals, double crossings, and 8 mini comics of that in almost a circular kind of thing. And that would be a lot of fun to unpack and read. And I think, was I saying this earlier, that that would be really fun as a fulfillment just because of the idea of the format being 8 mini comics. You would sell 2 versions. One is where I assemble the mini comics for you, and 8 mini comics. I mean, that might be like $2 a piece, like $16 plus shipping. Shipping would be very cheap because you could just ship. It's just paper, and so you could ship for like $1, maybe $2. But maybe my OCD wants to do $4, still cheap, but it's like $20 for the whole thing. Or you could do a version though where you're like, you assemble it. I'm just gonna print it and ship it to you. And then because the assembling, I mean, it's like a half hour, 20 minutes to a half hour of labor to assemble 8 mini comics. Um, so if I do that for you, yeah, it's gonna be like $10 or whatever. But if you want to do it, you could sell the entire 8 mini comics unassembled because you just print them on your own printer with a laser printer. You know, they're all black and white. Um, like for like $1 each or less. Like so, like the whole thing plus shipping for like $8 or whatever. Very very cheap, and it would be fun. I think hitting that quite a low price point. I wonder what that would be like if you could get a tipping point with that of people being like, well, shit, if it's literally like $8 or shit, like you could try 6 or even 5, but it does get a little bit like, how low can you go? I'm not sure. But yeah, say it was 6 or 5. Like, I wonder if you could get, you know, 500 backers. Or the old days, get people just backing it for fun. Um, yeah. So base B wants bounty B. Okay. Base B wants bounty B because they just caught bounty B's old partner who gave bounty B up for a deal, um, for a plea deal to avoid the death sentence. And what they did back in the day was like rob a bank, whatever. Some of the, it can all be, it's all trying to be like placeholder stuff, and we can plug it all in later. So we kind of have our scene. So each of these would be like a mini comic. So this is like one. This is not in any order. This is two. This is three. So we've got three so far. And remember, we're trying to do this kind of like betray the betrayer type thing. So what we haven't had yet is that one thing with betray the betrayer is like if you say ulterior motive. So we know people's motives, and then what's the ulterior motive? So we want actually uh base B. It would be good if for base B actually has an ulterior motive to get bounty B in the area. And it's like mayor of base B. Um, he has a daughter. She is on the run with bounty B. He wants her back. Now, would this work? Then it would be like she would then tell like bounty B, I don't want to go to base B, my dad. But if it's somehow like he's in base B is the liaison, we could write this. Base B is the liaison place, but this mayor guy isn't from base B. They are using base B as a like location, as a neutral location to pull it off. Um so he's almost betraying his people who hired uh boss A to get bounty B to go to base. So here's our like little arrows so far. We have Mayor X. He tricks, and then can I do an arrow? How do I do this? Mayor X tricks base B, who tricks boss A, who tricks our main character, but we haven't decided what that trick is. We're calling him just character C, who is tricking bounty B. And then is bounty B tricking anybody? That's like the bottom. So boss A tricking character C. So he sends him what he told him. Does he have an ulterior motive? So what he told him, we can write this here. Almost this is a new thing. So boss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boss A told character C, just be a fake prisoner so we can send our guy bounty B into base B and get, and get our debt rescinded or whatever. You are our, what do you call it? Kind of just the man on the mission, making sure everything goes smoothly, safe. You are our life insurance safety guy. Now, if we really wanted to try and, but we're getting up to the point where like it can't circle back by 8. So send our guy, get our debt rescinded. You are insurance safety guy. If he is somehow tricking insurance safety guy, who we're calling character C, like they also need character C, and they paid a bonus for character C. I mean, that's like the simple thing is if, uh, but could there be a cooler reason? They need character C in base B also. But what I want to have happen that could be cool is like Bounty B finds out about character C and makes him enter the situation posing as Bounty B, which would be like chaos will ensue. And it kind of quickly, this almost becomes like a comedy of sorts. I can see comedies be this way. That I think like Midsummer Night's Dream. There's a type of comedy where it's just all the things lining up to be coincidentally everyone betraying everyone. Clue might be almost like that. Comedy of errors, sometimes they call it, or I don't know. But yeah, so that's like a fun situation though. If you actually have that happen, that could be cool. But how it kind of circles back. So let's write this just so we have something here. So there is like a ulterior motive. Like we could say boss B mayor, the girl. They want the girl. They like also want character C. And why? I don't know. It's just like he. See, it could be cool if there's another reason why they really want him. If he's like a witness, does it tie back to the initial person who got caught? And that person could have given up in a lie. Character C. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I might end the stream pretty soon, everyone. I can imagine this is like the worst live stream to listen to, but for me, it just helps to, if I'm forced to talk out loud, that helps. Yeah, let me see real fast. Let's look at, do we have, yeah, we're still $8 shy of 9,000. So close, so close. Anyone? 7 people watching. How's it going, everyone? Dele, I'm getting invested in character B. Yeah. Wait, Bounty B or character C? uh Yeah, but Bounty B, he's like, yeah, the guy's getting screwed the most. And it's a loose, like, you know, could be a situation where it's almost like Treasure Islandy, where Bounty B is like Long John Silver, and then character C is like the kid. The kid's like the stowaway with ulterior motive. So if we write it that way, what do we can say like ship captain with stowaway with ulterior motive. Ulterior. Um yeah, if everyone has an ulterior motive, you just plug it all in. But then finding like a situation, like even if I try to do all this, it's kind of hard. It almost has to be like sci-fi or magical, so you can make up your own rules, so you can fit it all in, so it makes sense. It would be like I was like maybe doing it as a western, and this is a town and a bank, and they have the jurisdiction. They want the guy to rob the bank. Like maybe that would kind of work, but some of it is like, well, if it's just on Earth, they find out this bounty bee works for this guy. They could just be like, hold him, we'll come to get him. Why do they need him delivered to them? And how they organize that, if it's they have a traveler come into town to tell them the deal. Like that could be something like the traveler comes in and he's the guy to pose as the captured guy to bring back. And then, but yeah, Bounty B, him finding out, I'm not sure how that would work. uh it would be like a betrayal from earlier, so like someone at base B, maybe did we say it's like maybe the mayor guy? He wants to warn his daughter. Maybe he doesn't want her back, but he knows if she comes she'll get arrested and killed. So he sends a warning, and he like warns them. And how he would warn them, I'm trying to think like what Bounty B does as he's entering, the kind of danger zone. He wouldn't do exactly what he's supposed to do. Uh, and he kind of encounters someone sent to warn him. And then if the warning is even like has ulterior motives, yeah, maybe they still don't say about the daughter. Um, why they want character C. And then I wonder if you could say we could even have put something in. It's so loose right now, but if it's 7 and 8, um, Bounty B, and then we're saying like Bounty B finds out, switches with character C. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We're almost counting the middles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's like there's 7, 8. So yeah, we have two more with the possibility of it kind of all playing out. Where like yeah, like so we'll if we just type it up like character C as Bounty B enters base B, trap is sprung, but then um yeah, then mayor brings his double trap. And then, is that the end here? Maybe that's just that. Mayor guy, this would almost put it in a circle. Brings his double trap. And so he like saves his daughter and escapes, and then chaos in his wake. The only problem here is it's like it almost might have to be 9. I'll see how much I can fit in because there's like another point we would want of like, did we even set up a little bit of like the relationship with the daughter, but then like what's left, the chaos in the wake, if everyone is kind of realizing they've all been betrayed. So like typing that out, even like base B realizes mayor guy betrayed them. Bounty B already knows, so your guy going up the level. Boss B realizes, but he's off world. And then character C. Actually, speaking of interactivity, it would be pretty funny if they're like, where's character C? That's who we really wanted. I mean, I don't know if they would use that as an actual trick because it's almost too much. But if they just tell character C, we're after boss B, we're gonna betray him, so we're sending you in as a fake prisoner. So you go in, you're our new agent. And character C's like, fine. But he doesn't know, but really, they don't even want boss B, that was all a lie. Or they don't want bounty B, that was all a lie. They want character C. But they didn't tell bounty B either. See what I'm saying? That's why bounty B switching. But that would be fun if they're like, well, where's character C? And character C is right there, but he's dressed as bounty B, and he's like, I don't know. Yeah. So if you do it this way, here's one thing we could do. Okay. We have for terms we're using. So there's like base A and base usurper. So base A contacts boss A to send bounty B on a mission using character C as fake prisoner. And then base usurper takes over faking as base A. Bounty B is coming to them, but they don't want him. They want character C. And that's sort of what we wrote, but the base of super is like the mayor. Why he wants character C. Is that like the daughter even? She's out and about, got kidnapped and went native, and he wants her back. I don't know. Praetor 7, what's up? What's up, everyone? Anyway, so you can see how sitting here typing, saying out loud, it helps you make a little bit of progress. You kind of start to maybe not have quite as much of a headache from it all. But this idea of like the chain betrayals, I mean, it's not that crazy. It is crazy, but even realizing that kind of helped me. but thinking of a way where it kind of works in a setting, a simpler setting like a crime setting or a Western setting is like way more kind of fun. Um, but yeah, just a simple like traps, trap the trapper though, betray the betrayer, um, and having the world be this thing. This would be a really fun product to have to be able to do a crowdfund for. Um, and yeah, it's like it's kind of unfortunate in some ways because this is definitely not this. It will sap your like mojo, your motivation, your confidence, because like a certain amount of time putting into this and not feeling like you cracked it. But I don't know. I think I might go off stream and keep working on this just a little bit because I think I'm making progress, but it is not something I can just sit down and bust out. And yeah, it's funny. I'm like, can you even simplify this of like whatever the betrayals are and like what could happen is someone could rescue character C en route and character C is actually like, no, I actually don't want to get rescued. I was undercover. Um, see, it's kind of cool. All right, we'll stay live while I type that out. So let me see. So Mayor X enlists base B to call base A to send bounty B with fake prisoner character C. And then, meanwhile, someone who likes character C, but isn't privy to the situation, rescues character C, throws off the whole thing. That's like you get into that interactivity, like that's all fun. But having it kind of wrap around and be wrapped up in 8 stories. And eight's kind of a lot. You know, I was thinking like what even is mentally if you're reading them out of order. Like, you know, 4 is almost so simple, so easy. 3 so simple, 2 obviously, 1 impossible to even get it out of order. Uh 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 starts to be like in that sweet spot where it's kind of fun. 6, 7, 8. 8 is like high end. 9 almost feels like too much. I'm like 8 almost feels like too much, but I just like that number of 8. 7, 6 and 7. 6 is ever so slightly. 7 is the one that's just right, but I don't know about that number. 7 mini comics, a story told in 7 mini comics. Read it in any order. But we'll see if it ends up if you could do it in that, if that's what it ends up being, that could be the thing. Dale A. The rescuer is her friend. Yeah. Isn't privy to the situation. Rescues character C. Throws out the whole thing. Yeah. But then, yeah. So then, like, if this is the path, you know, then Bounty B, from his perspective, his whole reason to go to base A is kaput. Um, but it could have been part of the plan of Mayor X to steal character C. Uh, yeah, it's funny because sometimes it's like too much. Like too much manipulation doesn't feel real. If it's and then if it's simple, like just one step traps, just little traps, that oddly feels like authentic in a way, or like. And so yeah, lots of simple betrayals feels good, but like a double, triple, like haha, I knew that he would do this, and that means that you would do this, and that means that I was gonna haha like that. I mean, you could do that for like a twist at the end, but I want to avoid that if possible. But like one thing as I'm typing here that comes up, yeah, it's like, what if character C and this girl character we've been talking about, what if they know each other but they can't let on? And then when character C gets rescued, that changes the girl's motive that um or she could be the one who rescues character C if they know each other. Is that even what you're saying, Dale? Let me type that up. Girl knows character C, betrays bounty B to escape with character C. Oh, we're kind of onto something good here. But I don't know what happens next is the problem. So the character C, it's like something that didn't go to plan. So the fact there's a girl who knows character C on bounty B. Like, is that just convenient or is there a way to explain that? And that would be almost one of the mini comics is they have a backstory. Um, so yeah, like why, who wants what and why from these multiple characters? As we have it now, we kind of have like this. We're calling her a daughter, mayor, who's like father, maybe. We have prisoner, who's fake prisoner. We have bounty B and bounty B boss. We're calling boss B, sure. That's like about it. Oh, and then we have old partner A, potentially. So old partner gets caught, gives up bounty B. That's what we're trying to do that plot. And that could all kind of stay. So then that goes up if we wrote all that and then it's that character C. Bounty B finds out Warren's wants. Okay, yeah. So Bounty B, this would be the new one. It changes to shoot. Daughter knows character C and escapes with him. He's like, no, wait. But then maybe Bounty B suspects. Could be good if you could find a good way to do that but so they escape. Bounty B gives you give chase. He gives chase. Character C knows they need to lead him to base B, so they run that direction. The plan still sort of works. And then we would kind of need like do we need like way early in here like 0 like daughter knows character C and why and what. It could be cool maybe if all 4 of them do the initial bank job. Just one gets caught, names the other 3, and that's the deal to get all of them. But they had a split betrayal. We're almost on to something. This is crazy. Um, so the 4 split, and then it goes bounty B and girl split, and then this other like the initial cot guy, forget what we're calling him, and character C split. Uh, and they have their own like split betrayal. So like it's almost like they rob a bank and then they go their separate ways, but they get kind of screwed by the girl and Bounty B run off, and then I don't know if this is gonna work or not. It's definitely the kind of thing like then we'll play it through and we'll find, but it is like sculptural as far as like we're getting some stuff put down, and as we run it through, we'll find what's not working, and you can kind of tinker with it to get it to work better. What's funny is it sounds like insanely complicated, but I think if it's in the form of 8 mini comics, just giving pretty simple exposition of the situation, that's like that's the experience of what it's meant to do. It's meant to be a little puzzle in your head that you put together by reading the 8 mini comics. And once you have like, yeah, the characters have names, they have iconic designs, that would all help. But we're kind of getting to where we almost have like fitting this all into. So if we have that, boom, boom, boom. We were deleting here. Mayor guy, Springs Trap. He enters. It could be funny if Bounty B switches with him and then the girl rescues him. That's like so getting so crazy, but that'd be so funny interactivity. If like yeah, Bounty B finds out, switches with them, like screw you. Then the girl rescues him. He goes along with it. I don't know. That's too much. The trap. They enter. The trap is sprung. The mayor guy. Yeah, and then like the final. Just what's the final? If you play that all the way through, who gets what they want? Um, there's this group of 4 people who rob this bank. It'd be good if there's like a final, um, like if they hid the money and they don't know where the money is, and they each have a key, and it takes each key to all be turned at once at the same time to open the chest. They have the chest, but they need the key or something, so they need to get all 4 together. So they just hatch this plan to do it this way without them knowing, with these lies. I mean, this almost works, and this is like sci-fi, but maybe you could do it in like it'd be funny if it's 1930s Tomb Raider-y style, with almost like spy style. Is way more kind of fun if there's a way to do that. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna write that down at least, like 1930s Tomb Raider. I don't know. So yeah, so if it is like a trick to get them all in the same place, and they need like their 4 keys, they already have one. That's what started it. They're gonna get the other 3, but um, then Bounty B is kind of the last guy in. They end up catching, yeah, like the girl and C. So they've got 3 then. And then Bounty B is like coming in just to get the girl. But, he would kind of wonder what's up at this point. Um, they go after him. If there's like a final fun twist, and I can't even imagine what it would be, but it would kind of need a pretty semi mind blowing twist. This is a twist story where the fun comes from the twists. And Joy, what's up? Yeah, combination password. That changes depending on like the genre almost. Like, yeah. If it's sci-fi, is it um a magic lamp? Is it just a chest with four keys? Is it something, something, something? But yeah, if the ending is like the last thing that could help here. And it's, if you imagine if there's a way he could be clued in that the trap is that it's coming and it was a trap meant for him and how that could happen. Like maybe this character A who starts it all, who gets named, like maybe they escape somehow and then they meet up and warn him and then they plan a rescue to get the girl in character C. Uh yeah, this ending. Yeah, just sit here for a second. I'm not gonna end the stream just yet. Let me have a sip of this energy drink. Oh, I'm almost done with it. Um, yeah, it's kind of like there might be an ulterior motive from the very beginning. The ulterior motive is that they need them all for. You almost need like a double twist. So like the twist is, oh, we actually all just need you all four together. This was all the ruse to get you all four in the same room, so we can activate this like magical blah blah blah. And we've got three of you now, but we don't have the fourth. And then there's like a final twist that no one sees coming. And that would almost be like, yeah, like a who's who kind of thing. Like if so and so switched, if people have like switched. Yeah, like it kind of would be cool if Bounty B switched with C. Like, yeah, if someone switched, or if, and then what the ending is, it's good if the final twist is like your one mastermind character, his plan worked, or like it's like a happy ending. Like the good guy, the team before, they get away with the chest, and maybe they. I mean, yeah, this is where it gets like, oh my god, was it their plan the whole time to have the one guy get caught on purpose? And now then they know it. But uh, to bring out the chest. So if they bring it out, what could the twist be? The twist could be that it was actually only three that were in the room when the enchantment happened for them to reopen the chest. So it just opens with three. Maromi, posting the link. Thanks, Maromi. Hey, people watching. What do we got on this? How are we looking? We're $8. Whoa. I was like, what? It went up, but then this went down. That's a bummer. That's okay. 148. 8. This is why we need backers too, because we don't want it to go down below 8. You know what I'm saying? That would be crazy. That would be the worst. Um, but yes. 28 hours to go. Yeah, it went down. Okay. Um, yeah. If the situation as it is now is potentially Bounty B is the one guy who kind of has avoided the trap. What can he do to still spring his buddies out of there? Preferably getting this like magic chest. Right now we're kind of doing potentially a Tomb Raider magic chest with four keys, something something. Um, he has his key. He could have given his key to someone so they actually have all four keys and don't know it. They could open it. They could just grab them and open it, and then it's like Indiana Jones apocalyptic. Don't want to do that. Yeah, what we want is a sort of quote unquote happy ending of like a twist where sounds we're kind of rooting for, yeah, like Bounty B and character C and even the girl in character A, kind of that team of four, we kind of like them as we have it now. It's we don't necessarily need it to even be like the two getting caught. Uh how would they get if they have a fifth person on their team? If they need this chest, or if they just want to escape with their lives. It's like if it, whatever the last kind of image is, it's like escaping, surviving, opening the chest. Uh, so it would be nice if the issue one could be them stealing it initially. Then I guess we have it kind of getting stolen back. Uh, yeah, they capture one of the four who gives up one or all three, initiates the plan to bring them in. Uh, and then what they can do about it. They're kind of up against big powers, big army, whatever. Bounty B. Oh, maybe the chest they have is fake and he has the real chest, and C and the girl in character C left their keys with him, so he has all three. But that last character A, if character A also left. Okay, there's something we can do where we can sort of finish this ish. We're getting above like 8, but we might be able to finish this. So this is like going back to like -1 up here with like we're kind of setting up or whatever. -1 is Bounty B and I'm trying to think why they even need to do this plan though. But they have to hatch a plan to get, maybe it's like both sides. One side has all four keys and one side has the chest. And so they're like wondering how to do it. Um if we can see this through, it's like Bounty B and this like character A, so we've sort of been calling A hatch plan, character A gives key and turns himself in. That starts this kind of plan where all this is happening. So like, yeah, is there two sides, a band of four like pirates slash thieves, and like the federal blah blah versus one has the chest, one has the four keys. So rumor is they each have one key, so the federal people they need all four. They catch one, but they don't know this, but this is kind of part of their plan. But He doesn't have a key, but he gives them how to get Bounty B. And then Bounty B supposedly is just doing work. This is where it gets a little weird. Like, if these are countries, like why they couldn't just capture him and turn him in themselves. If he's like working for boss, we're calling him Boss A, I think. Boss A doesn't want to do that, but he's like, I'll just send him to you guys with this trick, and they're like, fine, like maybe that could work. Um, so he's kind of out of it. He pretty quickly people are not in on the full scheme. But then at the end here, you're the full twist is Bounty B has all four keys. We're kind of back to like where we started though. They have the chest. If they could get the chest somehow, like was there a trick? Um if the chest got swapped out, if the chest gets moved, if they're gonna bring out the chest because of the, and if you use fake keys on it, if that's like bad, if it'll blow up. So they don't want to do that as a trick. I don't know. Del A, infectious disease and immunity. Yeah, like a Resident Evil style story. I'll write that down as it's Tomb Raider or maybe Resident Evil. And that's almost like Pandora's box kind of thing. Like it could be cool for if you have like a disease thing to have the cure be in four parts, like they call it four keys. That would be cool. Uh, that would make it more powerful just to have all four. You don't even need the other one. Another part about it is like if it's just like two nukes, like one nuke is split into four and the other one is whole. So if you get all four, then it does become mutually assured destruction, and you do have like they just are trying to avoid that. Um, Bobby needs jug sketch in my new uh, foreign agent TPV. Oh, did you just buy foreign agent? Because you know it's on the if if so, that's from the eBay, and I don't run the eBay, so I maybe can't draw it in for you, Bobby. But I got you for definitely for the Earthbound. Maybe I can include a like a sticker, like a remark sticker. You could slap it in the foreign agent if you want. Oh, YouTube won't let you type foreign. That's funny. Um. Okay, so we're so close. I want to keep going now. The situation now being like the feds have three captured people supposedly. There's one survivor. He has all four keys. They have what if it's okay, we're still just typing stuff, but what if feds have the lockbox, whatever it is, but they truck out a fake lockbox at first because they're worried about this stuff. Real lockbox is in the back. And then yeah, real lockbox gets stolen. Stolen by bro to make a deal with Bounty B. Maybe it's getting too. We're already like too much. It can't be this much stuff. And at that point, the other three are still up the creek. So the feds have all three. At that point, if you do that, Bounty B has everything. And what they're even trying to do to start. Um, they were going to truck it out. I don't know. We might be at the point where I got to sleep on it. Pair hours foreign. I'm with Dale. Oh, first print from some other guy. Nice. Yeah. Bobby, I'll probably see you at Heroes, I think. I haven't bought my ticket yet. That reminds me, I gotta talk to the bros and make sure that we're in or whatever. I'll do that. I don't know. All right, yeah, this is still kind of hit a dead end at the end, which maybe means got to rework it. I don't know what the end. If we try and write it in reverse, like what would even a cool ending be like? Yeah, like a little trickaroo and a little escape. Is it all four or just one? Do the four like each other or not? That could be cool if all the intelligence that the feds have is that the four have been estranged and betrayed each other for all the money. And the twist is at the end they didn't. They've been working together to kind of get what they want. Um, yeah. How could you do it? You could almost do it if like this character, I think we're calling him character A, who starts it all, one of the four, they're the one who like gets captured and gives up. If they actually like worked for the feds, straight up to catch the other three, and then you just find out they're still on the other three's side, and they just need so there would be a final escape, and then you would want what the payoff of opening the chest. See, I don't know if I want to deal with that in like a small short story where, yeah, it's like, ooh, it's, infinite light. It's a bomb. It's spirits. It kills anyone who opens it. It's like so many tropes. No matter what you do, it's a trope. It could just be like you open it, it's a lot of money. Maybe it's cool they already opened it. Maybe they buried it somewhere. They need got to dig it up. Like if the story's just about money, that's sometimes more fun. Okay, it could be a lot of money though. I don't know. Hank Engine appears and takes the panel breakers on to Snowpiercer 2. That's a good crossover. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. I'll talk to everyone later. Back Grand Prix 3, last 24 hours here. So do it if you haven't. Get on in there. Thank you very much. We're at a little mini dead end here. We'll see if I can do this 8 mini comic thing. It would be so fun if I could get it's funny if I even get this, it's still like half or less of the battle to have. It is the biggest step though, but if I can get everything kind of lined up of all the circular betrayals and the players, then it's like picking the world, the characters, design, and a little more world building, and like I'm sure that tweaks the story or whatever. Because it's nicest when it kind of makes sense without you having to give exposition. Even that's like if it's like a prison and they have a prisoner, like you don't need that exposition. Like everyone knows what a prison is and a prisoner. But if you're dealing with like, oh, it's a magic box with 4 keys that open it, that requires exposition, and it might even require like, well, yeah, where did they get it? Blah blah blah. More explanation. I don't know. So the less, the better, because you can pack in more of other stuff. Cool. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. See you, everyone.